The Liberals almost, and we're not sure, we think that they might have done this, lost a vote of confidence in the House of Commons. Many of you have written to me over the last year and you've said, Michelle, why don't you guys raise a vote of confidence on the Liberals in the House of Commons? Well, that's what we've been doing for almost the last 24 hours here in the House of Commons. Conservatives have been forcing the Liberals to vote around the clock on confidence motions because Justin Trudeau refuses to allow any sort of public inquiry on the SNC-Lavalin scandal, and he is trying to silence Jody Wilson-Raybould in terms of telling what exactly happened there. So let me tell you what just happened in the House of Commons, and I'm sorry, I look like a wreck right now. We've been up for 24 hours, but we're voting on matters of confidence, budgetary items. And the Liberals had started to get lazy. Their numbers were really low in the House of Commons. We all came into the House to vote. We were in our seats. We were ready to go. We were ready to vote. Liberals weren't there. And then all of a sudden they started pouring into the House of Commons because they knew they were going to lose. We brought this issue up with the Speaker of the House of Commons for about half an hour. And time after time, point of order after point of order, Conservative, NDP alike, we brought this up and we got shut down. What you are watching on television right now is the complete abrogation and failure of Canadian Parliament. The Speaker is supposed to be a non-partisan institution that considers the rules and procedure of the House of Commons first and foremost, because partisan strife aside, policy differences aside, our democratic institutions have to allow for freedom of speech and principle in terms of discourse and voting. Here we have Liberals streaming into the House of Commons late on a vote of confidence and obfuscation from the Speaker. I have never seen anything like this. I have been in Parliament for years. There's a chance that we could have won a confidence motion and we could have been in an election right now. And what we saw was every possible effort by the Liberals to ensure that that didn't happen. Now, let me be clear to you what just happened there. The Speaker got up and said, after all of these points of orders, when he should have taken a very firm leadership role on this, he said, well, it's up to the honor of the members to determine if they were able to vote or not. Do you think any Liberal had any sort of honor whatsoever? This calls into question everything. It calls into question the legitimacy of Parliament, the role of the Speaker, the honor of members. This is something that each and every single one of you, regardless, like you can look at me as a Conservative and say, oh, I'm not sure. But you should care about what just happened in the House of Commons. That was crazy. And I need you to share this video. I need you to tell people what just happened in the House of Commons. We have seen in the last 2 weeks the Justice Committee, the only public inquiry on the SNC-Lavalin scandal, get shut down by Justin Trudeau, completely shut down. We have seen interviews by senior women in the Trudeau caucus, senior cabinet ministers, say that they were feeling bullied and harassed. And this morning in the House of Commons, I raised a question of privilege because news reports said that women had been, quote unquote, excused from the House of Commons because there might be frustrations taken out on them by sleep-deprived Liberal MPs. Now think about this for a second. Everything else aside, what about the tens of thousands of constituents that those women represent? Do you think that they cared about whether or not sleep-deprived MPs were going to be mean to somebody or not? No. They wanted everybody to be civil, and they wanted their members of Parliament to be able to vote. And when I raised this point of privilege this morning, you know what the Speaker said to me? Well, I don't have any evidence of this. He basically said fake news. He basically called Canadian Press and Maclean's Magazine, two news media outlets, calling this fake news. That's where we're at in Parliament today. That's where a fake feminist Prime Minister is in terms of supporting women and supporting women's voices being heard. Every minute right now, we are in the House of Commons. If you've never watched a House of Commons proceeding right now, now is the time to do it. Watch what's happening in the House, because we are forcing these Liberals to vote time and time again, because what is happening to Canadian democracy is wrong. Justin Trudeau stands accused of allegations of obstruction of justice within the judiciary of Canada. Even the OECD, an international organization that is highly respected, has concerns about this. If you care about nothing else, care about the independence of our democratic institutions, share this video and tell somebody to phone a Liberal MP and shame them for what's going on in here. It is my privilege, it's the leader of my party's privilege, Andrew Scheer, to get out and fight against this every day. Every single one of my colleagues. I have colleagues in here that had strokes, that are out here, and they're voting around the clock. They're working hard. I am so proud of my team. I'm so proud of working with every single one of my colleagues. And now we need you. Now we need you to help us stand up and say, you know what? We actually care about what's happening in there. We care about the fact that for 24 hours, Conservatives and NDP have been standing together against what's happening by Justin Trudeau. You know, one man and his ego does not get to determine democracy in Canada, and it's time that each and every one of you tell him that he's wrong. I'm getting back into the House of Commons. I'm going to keep working hard for you in Ottawa. Have a great day.